Hello, everyone. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez. I am your host for Paranormal Central, coming to you live from Fresno, California, the place that I call the scariest place on earth. Seriously. Co-host to the right of me is to the left of you. Ellen, where are you?
Good evening, everyone.
And in the studio tonight, we kidnapped him. The mayor of Sanger is in the studio live, and we're going to be talking, everything about paranormal. I mean, we're going to find out if he's seen anything. Because, Sanger is actually a pretty haunted place, and we're going to talk about that tonight. So, Joshua Mitchell is having a blast being here right now. I can tell you guys that right now. He's having a blast. And we're going to talk paranormal with him and see what he knows, if he knows anything. And if he doesn't tell us, then he's not going home tonight.
We're excited.
Okay, so, all right.
We're excited.
So, all right. Going to lower the music a little bit here, and we're going to get into it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez, and we are happy to be here once again. And we are being broadcast also on another network called the Dark Matter Network. And we're going to be showing some photographs tonight. And you can go to artbell.com. Artbell.com. Tune in there if you are on another computer someplace and you want to tune in. Go to artbell.com and you'll be able to see the pictures that we're going to have tonight on there. We're going to show you some cool pictures of some UFOs and a weird plane that landed in Fresno yesterday. We're going to talk about that, and don't be surprised if we get cut off on the live stream, because we're going to get dirty and underground and conspiracy. I mean, this is going to blow your mind. Joshua Mitchell has no idea what we're going to talk about. So
should I be scared?
Nah.
Well, just excited, but I'm just glad you're not going to be going for Congress, because, like I told you, man. When I asked you to come on the show, I said, well, for one thing, if you're going to go and run for Congress, then if you're going to be on the Paranormal Central, you have no chance of winning. I'm serious, man. Because they're
It is what it is.
So, all right. Hello, everybody. All right, we're going to get to it here because we're going to have some fun with Joshua Mitchell tonight. But first of all, we're going to contact Ken Pfeiffer, and I guess we got him on the line. Ken, are you there?
Hey, Pat, how you doing? How was your Christmas?
Very good, thank you. How did your Christmas go, Ken?
Oh, not too bad. I hurt my back bringing in the tree, but other than that, I'm just taking it easy for another week.
I hate when that happens.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Artbell.com has your photographs on their website. So now anybody out there could go to his site and watch the photographs, or they can watch them here at live stream as well. So we're going to go ahead and get into it, Ken. I am putting up UFO number 1, and it is on the screen right now. So go ahead and talk about it, bud. What do we got here?
Okay, this is a very strange one. This is from December of 2010 from Brick, New Jersey. The time is around 9 p.m., and like I said, it's a MUFON case file. As a matter of fact, we had a sheriff who was an investigator for MUFON down in Cape May County, New Jersey. He investigated this case and was classified as unknown. But a brief statement here. It says here, I live in Brick, New Jersey. Recently, my family and I have been seeing a very bright star-like object that appears to be lower than a normal star looking south. The object changes color very rapidly and seems to be spinning in place. I took some photographs with my 30-millimeter Nikon D80 digital SLR camera. To our amazement, we found out what the object looks like up close when I opened the pictures. I have been seeing reports online where people describe seeing similar lights. The pictures I have attached are JPEGs files, and I also have them in my in the original format. So that was a very interesting photo, and like I said, as of today, that's still classified as unknown.
Yeah, that looks weird. I couldn't even tell you what that looks like. I mean, it photograph might have been, the object could have been in motion, because for all we know. So, right on. Okay, we're going to go to number 2. And number 2.
This is weird
Okay,
looking.
number 2. I do have 2 photos included for this one. Photo number 2 is the first one. This is also a MUFON case file, and this was on November 28th, 2013 in Elkhart, Indiana. And a brief statement, witness saw it hovering over the neighbor's house in the distance, and knew that it wasn't a star, and thought it was a piece of a comet. Took pictures, zoomed in on this 3 lights like triangle. Then after an hour or 2, it disappeared. So apparently this thing here, that would be picture 2 and picture 3, that thing hovered around for an hour or 2 before it finally disappeared. And I apparently I believe that's being under investigation by MUFON Indiana as we speak. So hopefully we'll find out.
That looks like
in the
definitely
near future what that one may be.
That looks like definitely a triangle shape. I could definitely see the triangle.
Yeah, it's certainly strange, that's for sure.
Right on. Okay, we're going to go to number 4. And we have 4
Okay,
up.
let me see. Now, I said picture
that's
4.
cool
Oh, yeah, this
looking.
one's very interesting. Picture 4 and picture 5 are from the same witness. Now, picture 4 here, that was taken November 19th, 2013, around 4 p.m. in Picayune, Mississippi. This is also a MUFON case file. And quite frankly, we get a lot of photos, a ton of photos from witnesses who, you know, they take pictures of sunsets and vacations and sporting events, and they bring their photos home, and come to find out that there's strange things in them, and that's what apparently happened here.
So she didn't.
Brief statement is, on the way back from college, I noticed how beautiful the sunset. So I pulled my phone out and started taking multiple pictures. I don't stop taking pictures for about 20 minutes the whole time. I'm not really looking at the sky, more so if my phone was aiming at the sky. That's the only problem with today's. I really hate today's digital cameras. I shouldn't say I hate them. I love them because they have so many megapixels, you know, like 14 megs, some of them even higher. But the only problem with these small digital cameras is you look into these little screens that are like 2 inches across, and you really can't see what you're taking a picture of. So I think that happens a lot, where people are just kind of looking in this little screen, taking pictures, and hoping that the photo comes out. And you know, they get a lot of, like I said, we get a lot of photos with strange UFOs on them. And part of the, let me see, part of his statement is here, I'm not really looking at the sky, more so my phone was aiming at the sky, and if my finger was on the right spot, then, well, looking at the trees and road to know where to push the button. Once I got him, I looked at every single one to see which ones I liked. I had about 100 pictures, and I came across multiple pictures taken when we got into town that was weird glowing objects in the sky. So this is photo 4 and photo 5. They are they're only 2 of, I would say, about a half dozen really pretty incredible photos that this guy captured. His camera captured the photos.
Yeah, these you know, right away people are going to go, well, they're Chinese lanterns, but these are not Chinese lanterns, because they are the shape to them seems to be, you know, Chinese lanterns are red or orange, okay, and this is nowhere even close to the color, for one thing. And Chinese lanterns don't set up, and you know, and you have 3 of them up there on the far right corner, and talking about, you know, picture number 5. They're in 3 in a row, and Chinese lanterns do not get in formation. Okay, they don't. All right, so I can tell you right now, these are not Chinese lanterns. So all those who are out there trying to debunk these, just, you know,
you can't
wrong.
see Chinese lanterns that good in the day.
No, that's true. And yeah, so
well, it's a shame for us, because the debunkers have it easy. All you have to do is throw out a word like Chinese lanterns, or, you know, the ISS or swamp gas, and, you know, everyone who wants to believe them, they do.
Right.
You know, so the hard part is us guys trying to get this information out there to let everyone know that these things are real and they're flying around.
Right, absolutely. So, very cool.
Yeah.
All right, Ken, what else is going on? Anything exciting?
Well, I think I may have sent you. I think I sent you a couple more photos. I hope you got them. It was photos 6, 7, and 8. Basically, they were some of the things that I found on Mars.
I did, and I did not send them to the Art Bell guys, and I didn't download them. So what we'll do is we'll save those for next week.
Okay.
All right?
That sounds good. Hey, I have a question for you guys. I don't know if you realize it. I was looking at the Discovery Channel here a couple of days ago and saw an hour documentary on mermaids. And I'll tell you what, guys, they had some oceanographers. They were doing research, not looking for mermaids. They were just, looking for strange fish and jellyfish and everything else on the bottom of the ocean. And they had some incredible photos. And quite frankly, I think they look like alien grays more than anything. So that's something else for you guys to think about.
Yeah.
That,
was it named mermaids?
These aliens are hiding in our lakes and oceans anyway, and it was very. I have it on my Facebook site, but if you get a chance, check it out.
Was it named mermaids? Was that the name of the show?
Well, it was from I believe it was Animal Planet on the Discovery Channel. Just Google mermaids discovered, and a few thousand things will pop up.
Well, I researched that a little bit, and I found out that those guys really are oceanographers, okay, and they are scientists and everything, but really they're using the mermaid thing as an interest grabber, okay, but they're not real. All the pictures are faked, but what they're trying to do is the other part of it of the show of what they talk about is the sonar, where the whales are dying and screaming and the porpoises and stuff. They're trying to bring attention that our government is using some kind of new sonar in the ocean that's killing animals and killing the mermaids,
that's
right?
been going on for quite a
but
while,
they're saying
from
it's
what I
killing
understand.
this mermaid thing, but really they're using the mermaid to grab everybody, and they're bringing attention to this new sonar that's killing the animals under the sea.
Why would Discovery Channel even put that on if they knew that the mermaid wasn't even real?
That's just what what those scientists say their own self.
It's like they put up a dragon one, but at the end it says everything that they portrayed was fiction.
That's right.
But it was a really good show.
Was it really? So, okay. Right on, Ken. All right, Ken, if anybody wants to go back and watch or look at these photographs, you can go to our website, and there are links over to his website. He has maybe about 10,000 photographs if you want to go take a look at the best photographs of UFOs ever. And or go to artbell.com, and you can view them there as well. Ken, as always, we thank you very much, and we'll see you next Sunday, okay? Have a good year.
Okay, guys, you have a happy New Year.
All right, man.
Happy
Take
New
care.
Year, Ken.
Okay, I'll see you.
See ya. All right, next we're going to call is Danny Valderrama. He is our Bigfoot guy, and he's going to give us a little...
I saw that Bigfoot that you put up.
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't know, because there's two deer standing in front of it.
Exactly.
But only I read everybody's comment, and you can walk up to this close to a deer, and if he can't smell you or see you, you could stand right there, and they'll not know you're standing there. The only problem I had was that Bigfoot didn't have anything behind him to break up his silhouette, so those deer could see him. And they would have took off.
Do you think that photograph? Do you think that was an actual tree stump or?
I think it's real. The only thing. Okay, and I'm not real good on Photoshop or nothing, but if you take that picture and blow it all up really close and look at the pixels, you could tell that that's original in the picture. You know what I mean? But only then somebody could have worked on that and then retook a picture of it, and then it would pixelate all together. You know what I mean? So, it still could be fake. But
now what are the chances that the deer feel comfortable around a Bigfoot?
See, that's where I was even saying this. We don't know what a Bigfoot is at this point to where
it eats.
Well, we know it definitely is a meat eater.
Deer.
It eats
Definitely
deer.
meat eater.
Meat
Yeah.
eater. And
How does it get close enough to a deer to eat it?
That's what we don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So it could have gotten that close in its natural predatory state.
Exactly.
That's what I have to say.
Well, I think they're ninjas, so it could walk up on a deer or you or me in the forest, and we'll never know.
Yeah, that's why I'm never going to go camping ever again.
Liar, because you said you want to go Bigfoot camping with me.
Okay, now you got me nervous though. I didn't realize about the ninja
man, dude. They're
Then you have. Then before we leave tonight,
Yes.
I'm going to give you a book called Missing 411.
Okay.
You go home. Your homework is to read that.
Yes, sir.
And I will guarantee you next week, if you finish it, you're going to call me and say, I changed my mind. I'm not going camping. Because you don't know how many people go missing up in the
My only
mountains.
request is that I was going to be able to bring up my Game Boy, but now I'm going to ask to bring my gun. Okay?
Well,
Right?
no. If you have a gun, you got to take your gun.
Okay, I will be
Okay.
taking guns.
Okay. Yeah.
Plural
Gun.
on that. Okay.
Gun is a mandatory
Can you
on
write
our
down the meeting
campsite.
minutes? The meeting minutes.
And we're not
Guns.
talking a BB gun either. so.
No.
Okay. Danny, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Danny.
So what's going on, Danny?
I was going to talk about that picture that you were just talking about.
Okay, well let's go. Oh, sorry, man.
Let us have
It
it, man.
just came out of nowhere. So,
Well, yeah, exactly.
There's no backstory to it.
Okay, talk about it.
Yeah, there's no backstory to it. We
Exactly.
don't know where it was taken, if there's any more pictures. And there could be two deer in there,
Mhm.
and that there could be just anything standing there. That's the problem.
Right.
We don't know anything about the backstory on that one. I
No,
did post
that's-
that picture. You had posted it earlier this week, and I put it back on your webpage right
It's
now.
still cool looking,
Okay.
though, huh?
It's on your Facebook page.
It's on my Facebook. So, okay. So, tell you what, Danny, as of starting next week, if there's a picture that you want me to show, send it to me.
Uh-huh.
And that way I can send it to the Art Bell people, and they can post it on their website as well. And then we'll go ahead and hit them with 2 shots here and there.
Okay.
Okay?
Great.
All right. So, because everybody's probably
So
going,
you
what
can't
are
really
you
do
talking
anything
about?
with that one. There was another one, a footprint earlier this week that was posted by Igor Bursiv out of Russia.
Oh.
Some guys had sent him 2 footprints. There was one that was a trackway of the footprints, and they were all single filed. It looked pretty good, about a 6-foot stride. It looked really good.
Yeah, I saw that. And again, darn
Yeah,
it.
you can see the
6-foot
footprint outline.
stride.
Okay, yeah. As the next week, we got to start posting. Well, I mean, we're posting the UFO photographs, and now we better start posting the Bigfoot because everybody wants to see
Yeah,
this thing.
those pictures are on your Facebook page.
On my Facebook
too.
page too. So
So we
okay,
want
yeah,
to
but we
take a look at
we got to get them out there because
Um,
people on the other side are wanting to look at them. So all right,
Because you can go to
So,
artbell.com and look at them. Yeah.
yeah, but
There
no-
was also a audio that came with those pictures of somebody who had said that they had left their cell phone or recording device out there near where the footprints were, and they got a recording of something trying to talk, and they sent that for analyzation, or somebody was analyzing it, and I think it was somebody who also analyzed the Moorhead Berry cakes from the Sierra Sounds, and he said that these were nothing like the Sierra Sounds. He said the Sierra Sounds were actual speech, and this was done more with a voice box or somebody trying to fake
Like
something.
fake.
And he said that he heard this same type of voice with the ones that we were talking about last week with the Ontario Sasquatch guy.
right.
He said those are pretty much fake too.
Oh, busted.
They're just people making sounds with some kind of mechanical device. He said there's not
Which
really
one?
any
Which
speech
one was
pattern.
that?
The Canada ones. The,
Oh,
right, yeah,
man, I
yeah.
want those. Mike, I want those to be real.
I
man.
mean,
So he said,
yeah.
he said for those reasons.
And you know what?
they're not
It's about time somebody came out. Somebody actually needs to come out. I don't care if it's a professor or a scientific, background, and pretty much say the guy in Canada is full of it, because everybody's believing him, and it's people like us is making us look like fools.
He's bringing a bad name to it.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's got to stop. So
We got professionals that are actually analyzing it now and saying, hey, there's no speech pattern in here. There's nothing in here that says it's a voice or anything like that.
Maybe we should have him do our recording.
yeah,
Yeah, we should send it to him.
Yeah, we should send it to him.
I know they could pull it all out and then they could tell us if it's real or
Clean it
not.
up and
yeah, absolutely.
pull it out.
And Joshua, we got
I'll get
something
it
screaming
to you
at
guys
us.
and
We got a
send it out
recording.
to him.
Oh, you have real.
We have real Sasquatch.
Someone needs to get that professionally analyzed.
yes.
How possible is that?
I was wondering if I have it on my so we can
Because
go ahead
that
and play it.
is it in Sanger country?
It's in
yeah,
the
it is.
Sierra. It's right here. Badger.
I don't think you have another choice.
It's like
Yes,
east of
Sarah's
Sanger.
making me.
All right.
And it's like 10 screams too.
Okay. Do we?
10.
Hey, the last picture
Let
I
me see if I can
posted
find
was
it.
somebody who had posted a picture. It's on your website too. I don't know if this is what Alan. This is what intrigued me. That it was maybe what Alan and Rick saw. Somebody
yeah?
saw a giant winged creature flying over
Mothy?
their car.
Where
You
was this?
saw
Where
Mothman?
was this at?
Is that on
This
there
was
right
in
now?
Pennsylvania, I think. and I'm not sure of the year. It could have been an old one, but somebody was bringing it back up. I think Mulder's World was bringing it back up.
Okay.
And it's a nice picture of a winged creature at the end of a road.
Danny, what was the date that when we went up to the hills and got that sound recording? Remember?
The voice, the screams that we got?
Yeah.
That was in March.
Okay, I got a couple of March here.
The roads were still closed in March.
Oh, yeah, the roads were closed because I had to walk all the way down there. I remember that.
Hold on. Okay, I'm going to play some real quick.
I was all worried.
Hold on.
And Danny saved me, man. He stayed behind me the whole way back. And then when we got back, I'm like, Danny, how come you stayed behind me? He goes, oh, if anything would have happened, you would have face planted, dude.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to see if I can play this real quick. I'm going to see if this is it.
The best screams I've ever heard.
Me too. I could actually feel him in my stomach.
Didn't you?
You had the headphones on too, so you could hear them a lot better than I could. But I could hear.
Yeah, what do they call those?
8 of the 10 with my own ears.
What do you call those things? The
parabolic.
Okay.
Yeah,
Here it is. Okay, quiet. Here it is. Everybody, this year in March the 17th, we actually got some Bigfoot screaming us up in the mountains. We actually did a show on this, but since we're talking about it right now,
yeah, we might as well let everybody hear it.
I'm gonna go ahead and play for you right now. Hold on.
You might bump it forward to the 5-minute mark.
Is that where it's at? 5 minutes?
Yeah. That you could hear him at the 5-minute mark better. And aren't you glad we got you some headphones? He would be not hearing this.
It's true.
We have guests in the studio tonight.
Jeffrey Mitchell, yeah, he's in here.
And we were not going to give him headphones, but I'm glad we did now.
Thank you for doing that.
Let me see if it's this one here.
At 5 minutes.
Yeah, I can't. No, is it this one? This is good radio, guys, I know, but hold on.
Good radio. There might be some language disclaimer here.
So, what's the show rated again? You're saying it was PG. Are we guessing PG-13 now?
It's
you know what? I'm gonna
see.
I'm gonna have to go and find it, but otherwise I'm gonna go ahead and stop it right now. So okay, yeah.
I have it on the computer, but
is it?
Yeah, it's somewhere on there.
So, okay, yeah. Let me stop this, guys. Okay. All right, Danny. What else, man?
I think that's it. Those are 3. I just wanted to get Alan's opinion on that flying creature.
Man, I'm looking at it. I'm trying to get it up. This computer is really slow that I'm on.
I gotta send you the pictures next week.
Yeah, and we'll put them on artbell.com. Those guys are missing out, and I don't want them to miss out.
Right. So we'll set it up all up really well next week, and then we'll let everybody see what we want them to see, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can find this audio right now, and then play it in a little while.
I need to take this computer somewhere.
Right, I'll pull it up and send it to you.
Is it on my homepage?
You know what? Can you send it to me via email? Yeah.
Yeah, you got one?
Yeah. Saying it Paranormal. Send it to me right now, and I'll be able to pull it up on my
.com?
Yeah, sayingitparanormal.com. sayingitparanormal@aol.com, and then email it to me on the SoundCloud or whatever, and I'll be able to pull it up on my iPhone and play it there.
Okay.
All right. Sweet. Thanks, dude.
Take it easy, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year.
All right. So he's gonna send it to me. So he actually cut it up and actually marked it where the sounds actually screams are. I mean, it's awesome. Wait till
you could get that on your Facebook. I think you can go on Facebook.
Well, I'm going to pull it up over here. So, all right. Now let's go and talk to Joshua Mitchell. Everybody's probably going, who is that guy with the suit and sitting in the studio? Joshua Mitchell is the mayor of Sanger, California. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, thanks for letting me be on the show. I appreciate it.
It's awesome that you are here with us, and you are a big paranormal geek like me, right?
I look up to you so much.
Shut up.
I'll tell you what, I don't have as cool of a wife as you do, obviously, okay? And it takes a cool wife to be involved in this.
Yeah, it actually does. And right now, she's, as soon as the leeway gets over there, you're going to hear y'all go, yeah! Watch, you'll hear it right now. But, yeah, I mean, you have to, your other half has to enjoy this as well, because when you walked in the studio, you had no clue what you were walking into.
Zero idea.
So,
I thought, okay, I'm going into the garage. It's okay to go in the garage. Not a garage.
Not a garage. For those who are watching us right now, this is what used to be the third car garage.
Used to be.
And now it's the official Paranormal Central Studios. But it doesn't look like a car garage, that's for sure. And, you look around and there's a bunch of X-File stuff. So you know where my influence came from.
And you realize you're just inviting the government to come down here to make sure you pull the necessary permits to turn this into a studio as opposed to a third car garage.
Well, you know what? They haven't hit me up yet.
Okay. Because we live in Madera, is that right?
That's Madera, that's it. So, Joshua, I heard this was one of your little numbers on your bucket list that you had to come on the show here.
Since the very first day I met you, and I was introduced to you as a result of some of the investigative work you did in Sanger, as you recall, at the Sanger Herald, which at one time, some years back, was actually a morgue. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, and unfortunately in Sanger, not in the better days of Sanger, they used to put people that were dead in there, and also people that weren't quite all the way dead.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so there's a little bit of history for Sanger.
That whole wing of buildings, old salons, bars, and the morgue. And what we did, guys, and this was like, how many years ago, Emerald?
This was a while ago.
Yeah, we're talking maybe 4 years, 5 years ago. We went into the Sanger Herald in Sanger, and it's a place where they press, the newspaper, the Sanger Herald, and they were experiencing a lot of things. People were being touched. People saw shadows, and so we decided to go in there one night. Dick Shepard allowed us to go in there and locked us up in the building and said, "You call me when it's time for me to come and let you guys out." And he went home, went to sleep, and we were in there all night until about 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. He came and let us out, and as we were packing up and we were about to leave, so he goes, "All right, Jeff, so what, did you guys see anything? Did you guys hear anything?" And I wrote things down on a piece of paper. And I had a psychic that was with us at the time. Her name was Becky, not her. And we went through the whole area all night, and she was saying things to me, and I was documenting them. And at the very end, I went to Dick Shepard, and I went, "Okay, well, here are the what happened to us and what I'm going, what we felt or whatever." And I told him about the psychic felt a presence in the back room, in the back dark room of a lady in a dress. And it so happens that the guy who was back there, who had his office there, said that's who he used to see there. Okay. And then what really blew away Dick Shepard was that the room where they fold the newspapers, there's several ladies in there that do that. Becky goes, as when we went in there, she goes, "There's a little boy crawling around on the floor in here," and we're all like this. What?
That's not normal.
That's not normal. And I'm going, okay, well, I wrote it down, and at the very end, Dick Shepard. This is one of the things. I go, Dick Shepard. I go, Becky, our psychic, said she sees a little boy running around on all fours. And he looked at me and he's going, and Dick Shepard is white. He got even whiter. And he's probably laughing right now. But he goes, the women in here have said that they've seen a little boy walking around on all fours or crawling around on the ground. And I went, yes! So, yes, there's something going on in that building.
Yeah. Well, as I learned about some of the work you had done, I thought, I need to meet this guy. And then I had a chance to meet with you. And plus, by the way, we have a real nice Sanger parade, the Christmas tree,
Toyland Parade.
Toyland Parade, correct. So everything has a Christmas theme to it until you get to the Sanger Paranormal Society's little float with aliens creeping out, kids are crying, and parents are, throwing stuff at you, and I thought that is one neat guy there.
Dude, I had the whole idea is to scare people, right? And that was my duty, and I made people cry that weekend. We didn't make anybody cry, seriously.
Again, we had like a Disney theme, and then all of a sudden we have this horror theme. It's just we're not sure what Jeff's
doing. For all those guys that want to know, the float that I had, we have a research vehicle, which is a 1985 old ambulance, and it was pulling a trailer, and on the trailer is this giant UFO, right? and there's aliens, surrounding the UFO with elves trying to attack the spaceship because it's abducting Santa Claus. And, all the kids are going, oh, my God, like a mom, they're getting Santa Claus. And I'm laughing and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, it was fun. It was out of place, yes. But you know what?
Nothing's out of place in Sanger, okay?
Nothing's out of place.
For the record.
So, yeah, we had a fun time. This year I wanted to be in there, but my van was in the shop, and we didn't participate in any of the parades.
But I hear it's being improved.
Well, yes.
It is. It's really improved.
From not running to running.
There you go.
Okay.
That was it. Man, I put so much freaking money in that thing. It's incredible. But, hopefully we're going to get it really tuned up. We have somebody who knows what he's doing, who's working on it. Hopefully in about the next month, because I have to have it ready for the video shoot at the Crest Theater, because I want to park it out there.
Yes.
And
that's going to be a big deal.
That's going to be a
We're looking
big
forward to
deal.
that.
So, all right, Joshua, now... let's talk about paranormal. Now, you like the paranormal. You love it, right?
Look, I will never forget, if I can talk about it real briefly, the
Sure.
very first time I watched X-Files.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, if you remember the very first episode.
I knew I liked you for a reason, dude.
Was in the woods, right? You remember that?
Which one?
The one where they're in the woods when they're bleeding from their noses and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I watched that, and I thought it was I was young enough to think that it was like a real show, right? I mean, like, it was really happening. I said, Dad, I don't want to be in Boy Scouts anymore. I said, I don't want to ever go camping in the woods ever again. And from then, you get hooked onto it.
Yeah.
And for example, to think that we're alone in the universe, I mean, that's...
you know how many billions...
narcissistic of us.
How many billions and billions of galaxies are, for one thing. All right, there are billions of galaxies, and inside one of those galaxies, there are billions and billions of planets. So you telling me we are the only one? No, absolutely not. That's dumb to even think that.
And then for everyone else, for everything else, there's not a solid answer for everything.
No.
There isn't a quick yes or no to anything.
Right. That's why I'm doing this, to be honest. I agree. There are so many questions that need to be answered. When I was growing up and watching these great shows on TV like In Search Of with Leonard Nimoy, that's where I really got hooked. All right, when the Bigfoot, the Patterson and Gimlin film, and the Loch Ness Monster and UFOs, that just it hooked me in. And I want to know, is this stuff real? I mean, seriously, I really want to know. It's like I'm going to be honest with you. When I wake up every day, I wonder, is this the day I'm going to get a phone call on my 24-hour hotline to say, I need to show you this video I got, or I need to show you this photograph that's going to basically
change the world.
Change the world. That's why I get up every morning, and I still love this, and I'm, it's just like kid in a candy store, man. Right? I mean, absolutely. You are. You probably, well, you don't watch that much TV because you're busy, but, there are so many UFO shows, so many Bigfoot shows on TV right now, and even if one was done 30 years ago and it comes out on TV, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it.
Same here.
Alan's the same way.
You know how many Bigfoot sightings we get in Sanger?
Oh, you know what? He doesn't know.
I don't.
Oh, let's go ahead
and I'm talking about like right in.
Okay,
it's time to be debriefed.
Check this out.
Yeah, you're going to be debriefed on Bigfoot in Sanger.
Check it out, Josh. We got a sighting at Academy and California Avenue.
It's pretty close.
Okay, we got another sighting at Zittiger and Ashland.
Very close.
But the California and Academy, that's right there in Sanger.
No, that is
Sanger.
in Sanger.
That's in Sanger. Okay,
that's in Sanger.
We got a sighting there. Actually, we think we found the footprint, but we couldn't cast them. They are all over the valley floor, and they are running around in the canals at nighttime, and that's how they make their way from the foothills down this way. And the reason why they're down here in the foothills is because, as you know, Sanger, the valley, is the breadbasket of the world. We have everything growing here. We have produce. We have vegetables. We have oranges, grapefruits. Everything you want is here. And the Bigfoots love that.
Especially in drought season.
Okay, and they're down here. And they're down here.
Now, do we know how fast these things can run?
Yes, Alan can verify it.
I mean, Alan could probably catch up with one.
What?
I can't.
No. Alan actually saw one in real life.
Okay, so
Okay, so
I watched it run like 200 yards in, I don't know, 5 seconds, 6 seconds.
because of the stride, man.
It was going. I was holding a Weatherby 300 Magnum, and I didn't have binoculars, and it was standing there, and I wanted to see it better. It was about 40 yards, and I could see the body really good, and I could see the cut. You know, he was like ripped. I mean, he was like Arnold Schwarzenegger times 10, right?
Wow.
And 10 feet tall. And then I opened up the door so I could throw the rifle down and look at him through the scope. And he took off running to the only tree about 200 yards away. And then I just followed him about that fast like that. And then he went behind the tree and he was gone.
Incredible.
People don't think these things are real. BS.
What now, why is that? Besides the fact that it's easy not to believe in it, why?
Well, okay,
They're ninjas.
because
They hide.
it's fairy tale stuff. It's stuff you see in movies, man.
X-Files.
X-Files stuff. It's just stuff that's not real. Okay, people just won't accept it because
Do you
they
ever go
are
camping? Do you ever go camping?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
now, let me ask you this question. When you're out camping, or have you ever been camping, and you're walking around out there all by yourself, and then all of a sudden, you're afraid. And
Well,
you don't
sure.
know why.
Sure.
All of a sudden, you're ready to run. There's nowhere to run. And
Your
I mean,
sixth
you're
sense,
scared to death, right? And you don't know why.
Absolutely.
That's when a Sasquatch is watching you.
What produces that sense in us?
They do.
They do.
Yeah, they somehow do this infrasound, and we can't hear it with our words, but we can feel it or sense it. And I don't know how many reports we get in. People just absolutely get
Just
afraid,
freeze.
and they'll be in their tent, just sitting there reading a book. All of a sudden, they are absolutely ready to run, and they don't know why. And that's usually from those guys, and they want you to leave, is what it is. They're trying to scare you out of there. They don't want you there.
They don't want to attack us necessarily. Is what you're
Well,
saying.
that's where the missing 411 book is going to come
Yeah.
into play.
Okay.
You know how many missing people that we have just in our national parks. I had an author a couple of years ago on the show, and he wrote a couple of books. Actually, now he has 3 out. And he's a retired police officer, now a Bigfoot investigator. And he was on a routine investigation, and a Department of Forestry personnel came up to him and said, there's something you need to really look into. And this is the number of missing people that go missing, the number of people that go missing in our national parks. They're in the hundreds of thousands. All right.
Yeah, hundreds of thousands.
Now,
Explain that.
Now, you obviously,
And you know
you
what's
haven't-
weird? They're all like 3 years old.
well, yeah, and there's
A lot of 'em.
A lot of them. There's, now, you watch the news.
Absolutely.
Okay.
As often as I can.
As you
Yes.
can. Okay. How often during these, not winter, but the summer months, do you see, hiker go missing, hiker missing, camper missing,
Nonstop.
right?
Nonstop.
Okay. Nonstop here. All right. Now, how often do you see, we found him. Oh, we found him. Not very often.
No.
Okay. They're gone.
And sometimes when they say they found them, it's they fell off a cliff. How does someone fall off a cliff?
Dude, man, oh my God, yes.
Right? I mean, either you're running up that cliff because you're afraid of something, or you're
You are on it, Josh, because that's exactly how they find most of these is they fell off a cliff. You hit it right on the head, dude.
And
That's
you
what
know
I
what
hear.
else? You know what else? When the real information comes out, they didn't really fall off the cliff. When they measure, that person couldn't even run and jump and fly that far off the cliff. They're like too
But you
far
never
away.
hear that, do you?
No.
It's
you
like
never hear
somebody
that.
threw
No.
them off the cliff,
Right.
You know, and they went flying further than somebody you could even throw them.
But my wife and I would be watching the news, and all of a sudden, hiker, like you said, fell off a cliff, and I'm going, how stupid is this hiker? How many times does this hiker go hiking, and all of a sudden he or she falls off a cliff? Come on, I mean, there's something more going on. Well, the circumstances that they are finding these bodies, it's going to blow you away. And in this book, it's going to matter of fact, Alan was going through this book a couple of years ago, and he noticed this name, and he said, holy mackerel, that was my teacher back in junior high, and was also in the National Guard here in Fresno. He was like a top-notch guy. He went out and he was fishing, Alan, and
Yeah.
he went missing.
He was lieutenant colonel.
Smart guy.
Real smart and big. He was like 6'5".
Would know better than to get himself in a situation he couldn't be in.
Exactly.
So, I mean, naturally speaking, right?
Exactly.
Well, you know what was weird about it? Because he was so well liked in the 144th Fighter Wing, for several months, the guys, his guys out there went searching for him, and they never found anything. All they found was his car only.
That's weird.
Okay.
And it's weird. I was reading the book, and I turned the page, and there's this picture, and I'm like, oh my God, I used to fly missions with that guy.
Is that the right adjective to use? I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
no, it's dumbfound. It's like it blows your mind that people aren't catching on. Then wait a minute, and a lot of people do, just like you. You caught that cliff thing, and I can't believe you caught that, man.
Sure.
That's awesome because people are not.
That's why I'm
too,
mayor.
yeah.
Okay. That's why I'm a mayor.
and you have common
Details.
sense. You have common sense, okay? People out there are not catching on to this stuff. How many hikers have to fall off of cliffs because that that's not right, man. It's absolutely not right.
You know what else is like it'll be like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old, and they'll finally find them, and it won't be the time when they're searching, because usually the search is like a mile or two. When it's 3 years old, how far can they go?
Right.
But then, like a few years later, they'll find the bones of the kid, and it'll be 9 miles away or 13 miles away, across the river, way up on top of the mountain, up in the rocks. And its clothes aren't ripped to pieces. They're actually like were pulled inside out. And they're laying next to the bones. So the pants is like somebody yanked them off of them and then threw them down.
So what we are saying is, when you mentioned a little while ago, so Bigfoots are meat eaters. Well,
they definitely like kids.
According to the Native Americans, and Alan can attest to this, that they say back in the days that the Native Americans had wars with the Bigfoots because they kept on stealing the children and the women of the tribes, and they were actually eating them.
Now, is there a good book you could reference regarding the history of Sasquatch or Bigfoot with the Native Americans?
No.
Or what do we know of those experiences?
And I'm going to tell you why no. And
Okay.
Alan could pretty much say this because they keep this on the hush hush.
Okay.
They don't like to talk about this. Now, luckily for Alan, he has some Native American blood in him, and he has a lot of friends in the res up in this area, and they actually pull him aside sometimes and give him some secrets on what's really happening up in the mountains. And
Actually, I tried like heck to get him to tell me, because I believe in Bigfoot. I saw one, right? And they always was laughing about it. And then one day, they realized I'm not going to give up. And one day, one of them pulls me aside and says, "You know what, man? You need to quit tracking them." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, don't you? When you're tracking something, you're hunting it. You're going to kill it, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." They know that. That's what they do. So when you're tracking it, guess what it thinks?
It's going to defend itself.
Right. And he said, "You'll be one of those guys that disappear." I'm like, they run from people. That's what everybody says. Everybody I know that saw one says it ran away. He's like, "Yeah, but I'll tell you that my relatives, it grabbed up a little kid, and it was like, okay, that's it. That's the last little kid. We're going to go find him." And they tracked him down, and he was sitting up in a tree eating the kid.
Okay, so let me play the devil's advocate. You expect this of me, or expect it of anyone that wants to debunk this.
Actually, everybody. Yeah.
Why have we never found, or have we, if I'm wrong, but why have we, mainstream-wise, never found a bone, a real solid hair sample, DNA evidence, real good in-focus camera shot?
Okay.
Help me out.
They're all blurry. Didn't you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bigfoot is blurry. I mean, that's why you can't take a picture.
Just naturally blurry, yeah.
Bigfoot is blurry. All right. There are several scenarios that we can get into here. The first one is, I'm sure regular people like you and me who have been up in the hills and probably have shot one, and they freak out. Right away, the first thing they're going to do is call the proper authorities, the Department of Forestry, the police, or whatever. They're going to come and they're going to confiscate the Bigfoot, and they're probably going to threaten that person or somehow bribe that person not to say anything
Silence
ever
them.
again. Silence them.
I think threatening more than bribing.
Threatening. Okay. That's one scenario. Like you said, have we ever found a body? The Department of Forestry, from what I have heard, here in Fresno. And were you with me? I don't know. I was going with David Ragosa. We were going up to the hills, and there was a sheriff's officer or a retired Department of Forestry with me.
It wasn't me.
It was way before your time, and he said he was a tracker for the sheriff's officers, and I don't think it was Ken. I think it was somebody else. And he was at a party here in Fresno at the main building, Department of Forestry, and he said that they were all getting drunk, wasted. One of the guys there knew this guy liked to go and look for Bigfoot, and he says, and he was like stumbling around. He says, "You need to come with me. I'm going to show you something, right?" And he takes him to this back room, opens up a door, and there's this vault, and he takes him into this vault, right? And there's like files and photographs all over the walls, and there's Bigfoot photographs all over the walls, and there's files, and there's everything in this vault. And he's going, they're real. We know they exist. Whenever we get evidence or whatever, this is where it goes. But we need to keep this hush-hush. Why? I don't know.
So that's what I was going to ask. Why would the government have the motive to keep it secret?
Well, you go into finances as well. If we come into contact with the Bigfoot, it would be like an endangered species. So all the land that they inhabit, we'd have to protect. Now, that's a lot of money. There are other reasons, but that's...
For which the government doesn't have resources to do.
Mm-hmm.
That is, I think, probably plays a big part of it. Another part is possibly missing link, maybe. I don't know. There's... And I'm going to tell you why I say missing link is because... And I don't know if you know about the incident that happened with the windows of my truck a couple of years ago.
I remember you telling me about that, yeah.
We took DNA samples off of it. An actual police officer did, forensic expert. And we had it tested one time. And what he said is, it came back human. And he got contaminated. So he stopped the process, and we didn't go any further. Now there are DNA samples coming forward like Melba Ketchum, and they are pretty much saying that it is coming back human. And what's happening on when they did their test, they continued the process. Now, I believe there are DNA samples coming forward all the time, but people don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole because Bigfoot are not real.
They'll be laughed at.
You'll get laughed at. Scientists don't even want to touch it, because they will get ridiculed, and if they're trying to move up in their field and they find out that they're trying to test this DNA possibly from a Bigfoot, they're not going to get the position, or they're going to get laughed out of their area. All right, so they don't touch it with a 10-foot. Now, I've had sheriff's officers tell me they're real. We had a sheriff's officer tell me that his buddy was driving up at Courtright Reservoir late at night in a pickup, sheriff's pickup, going down a dirt road. Boom! He hit a Bigfoot. The Bigfoot fell, just like Harry and the Hendersons. All right? The Bigfoot got up, took off. The front end of the sheriff's vehicle was smashed in. It was not drivable. Called in. They came, towed it out. The next morning, supervisor pulled him into the office, said, "We're going to give you a new truck, but do not say what happened. If you do, you're out."
And so what is he supposed to do, and that never hits the mainstream media?
No, absolutely not. Okay? People are... they're running into these creatures all the time. You said, "Well, how come we haven't got a good photograph?"
There's some. We have good photographs.
Yeah, we do, and I will show you some. But when people are up in the mountains, they're up for a couple things only, and they're either camping or they're hiking.
Not there to take pictures.
Not there to take pictures. If they have a photograph, if they have a camera, it's around their neck. If they have a cell phone, it's in their pocket. Now, if something comes out from behind a tree, and they have now focusing their eyes on it, and they're going, "Is that a bear? Is that a person?" And they're looking at this object, and all of a sudden they figure out, "Whoa!" And it's it comes in visual contact with them, and now it's walking away from them. They don't have time to get the camera out, and they're probably shaking. By the time they don't take it, it's gone.
I don't think someone like you could probably even take a really
good
picture.
Absolutely not. I would pee in my pants.
I mean, I saw a Mothman a couple of months ago, and in the middle of Fresno. And I had a camera, a cell phone, and binoculars. You know what I pulled out? Binoculars. Because I thought somebody was flying a kite or something and tricking me. And then when I put the binoculars on it, and I realized it wasn't a trick, and this thing turned back and looked at me with these big old giant red eyes like that big, and it was flying your way towards Sanger, Then I ran for my camera. By the time I got my camera out and on and everything, it was already, I could still see it flying away, but only it was so far I couldn't get a good video.
We've had so many Mothman sightings on McCall Avenue towards Selma.
Can you help me out? I've heard so many stories about the Mothman. I've seen the movie, obviously. And
well,
help me out. What's a Reader's Digest version of Mothman?
You know what?
Reader's Digest version?
Is there one?
You know what?
The preface?
There's a couple of Jeepers Creepers, for one thing. Have you seen that movie? Okay, that's like spooky as heck. All right. Somebody, matter of fact, my cousin who actually saw one said it looked like the Jeepers Creepers type of thing.
Okay.
Okay, but then you have another version of Alan's version, which is all fur, bat-like wings type of deal. Totally not even close to what my cousin saw. So, and then you have pterodactyl sightings also in the foothills.
Oh man, a lot of those around Sanger.
Really?
Yes, a lot. Okay, so it's like there is something going on here in the
fact,
valley.
one of my Indian friends,
It's a hub.
Yeah.
One of my Indian friends I was just talking to not long ago, and they said that at the end of this summer they were coming down from the res by Burro Valley. I can't remember the name of it. Can't remember the name, but they went down Trimmer, and
Trimmer Springs, yeah.
Yeah, and then they were following the lake out, and when they got to the river, and they were still by the Kings River, there was two of them in down at the river drinking water, and they stopped like that and got out of the car, and they were getting ready to take pictures, and the things looked at them, and they said they were tall, like 7 feet tall or so, and one of them really started staring them down, and it scared the heck out of them. They were women, and they got back in the car and took off.
Now,
and these things flew away.
Fact of the matter is, there is so much forest land that we have not seen that man hasn't even stepped on.
That's right.
I go hunting, and I look over where we've gone hunting and where we've hiked, and then I look at areas where it's impossible to even hike in there, and I think to myself,
that's where they are.
Who knows what's in there?
Absolutely. And there are Bigfoot, Sasquatch, obviously, but the people are finding footprints that sometimes they only have 3 toes. People are witnessing dog, possibly wolves, dog man. There's so many creatures that people are witnessing. It's like,
and
my brother Jeffrey Mitchell talks about that all the time.
Yeah?
What is out there?
There's, and that's one of the reasons why I started doing what I'm doing.
Right.
Well, for one thing, UFOs and Bigfoots, I never in my wildest dreams I would have thought that there would be Bigfoot an hour and a half east of us. But then I find out, only because of what we're doing, people now know who to call, that when they witness something like a Bigfoot at freaking Academy Avenue, they're calling us on it. They're calling us, and they're freaking out. This is what they saw running near the orange fields. And I'm going, and we take off over there, and we talk to the women, and they're like, they're deadly serious about what they're talking about.
Yeah, and they always, one of the things that
it's crazy.
We find that always there's a canal or a creek.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
Or an area, like a little swampy area with like 5 acres of trees and berries and all that kind of stuff, and they see it run in there. And then I think, well, there he is. He's sitting there all day, hanging out in there, eating the berries or whatever, and then in the night he takes off and uses that cover.
Are these things smart?
Absolutely.
Oh my God,
now these, you go down to the river bottom.
Sure.
Near the Kings River, there's so much shrubbery and just plants and trees. If I told you between, let's say Ashland and give me North Avenue, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go hide in that Kings River, I'll give you $10 million to come and find me. Do you think
I couldn't do it?
You can do it, right?
Could not.
How do you think when people say, well, how come we haven't found a body? How come we can't find Bigfoot? Well, that's only between Ashland and North Avenue. We're talking millions and millions of acres up in these mountains.
How often do we find bear bones?
Never.
Right?
I never have.
Right?
I found deer bones, though, that Sasquatch got.
But bears, how often do we find a dead bear in the woods? You don't see them. You barely do.
No, why is that? Okay. Well, I remember
trade secrets.
I remember seeing a special on TV where they had a dead deer, and they actually laid it on the floor, and they tied it with twine wire, and they wired it out and staked it into the ground, and they put a time-lapse camera right above it, and they let it go for like 4 days, and you saw the process of it dissolving by the maggots,
devoured,
and then after the maggots get to it, then you see little animals come and they start eating the meat. Then after that, you see the big animals come and get the bones, and they start taking the bones one by one. All right? And by the time you know it, there's nothing there except for the wire. Well, very well could be happening with the Bigfoots. They die in the middle of 10,000 feet elevation in the middle of nowhere, and they're going to get devoured by the predators.
Nature does it best.
And yeah, absolutely. Or they're in packs with families. And that's what usually happens, because there are families of Bigfoots. How do you think they reproduce? They're all over the place. They have their moms, their dads, their kids, their grandparents. If one dies, they probably take it wherever they live, and they probably either bury it or they put it in a cave.
I think they put them in caves.
Put them in caves,
like bears.
Yeah, I mean, I think they actually put them in caves, and I know they're smart, because the one I saw, when I tracked it to the tree. I mean, I followed the tracks of the tree, and then I started tracking it up the hill that I watched it walk down, and then I got to a point where it went into these really thick bushes, and was like, I'm not going in there. And I turned around and looked at my buddy in the truck. I couldn't see the truck. And I thought, wait a minute, man. I grew up hunting everything. Nothing I ever hunted knew to put a tree between me and it and escape. Then I knew it was
That's smart.
I knew it was smart then.
So how civilized? How big are the groups or colonies that they live in? What are our best guesses that are out there?
I don't know. I mean, people have seen them in packs.
Yeah.
Families.
Okay.
There are families up there, man.
In the area we go, there's said to be like 3 hanging out around there that's seen together, 3.
Yeah. But people have seen, these Bigfoots walking or running, and they notice there's something hanging on the shoulder, which is their baby, their kid, attached to them, and they're running away. That's how come, when I had a friend at work, and I told him, there are many out there, and he was tripping out. He goes, you mean there's more than one? I thought they were just a Bigfoot. I'm like, oh, dude, really? I'm going, come on. And those are the people who just don't get it. They don't get it.
How far away are we, if it ever happens, and maybe you can answer that way as well, from this hitting where someone says we have a body? Everyone thought those Canadians, I think it was, had gotten one, or the people in Oklahoma that wanted to start up sometime. Have it in the freezer. Right?
Yeah, right.
How close? I mean, everyone thought that was the day, but
yeah, I was excited. I remember that day, Tom Biscardi and the whole, in the freezer, ice in the freezer. Oh my God, they're now the butt of the jokes, and people just don't, care much.
That hurt the Bigfoot thing so bad.
Yeah, it did, because all the major media went bonkers, and when we're talking major, CNN, Fox News, everybody was running this, and all of a sudden it was fake, and it put mud in all their faces, and they said, you know what, that's it. The next time
I don't like plugging other shows, but tonight on Coast to Coast, Justin Smeha's he's going to be on there, and that guy shot 2 of them. Okay. And I mean, he shot him. I talked to him, and I looked right in his eyes, mano to mano, or however you say that. He shot 2 Bigfoot.
So how close are we, Jeff? What do we say? Do we say 10 years, 20 years?
I can't. There's no way. You can't put a time limit on it.
Not possible.
No, because the people who are investigating and going out there and trying to find are just a little minute amount of people that are doing this. I mean, it's not like there's 20,000 people out there looking every single second of the day. There isn't. There are people like Alan and I who have families, who have jobs.
I would say there's maybe 10,000 over the United States and Canada.
But okay. But everyone else is going to be by accident. 10,000 is nothing.
Oh, I know. Compared to how many acres.
You could put 10,000 in Sanger and it's nothing.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
On the river to look for you.
Right.
And the offer's still out there for $10 million, okay?
Not if there's 10,000 people looking.
There's actually a show coming on Spike in January.
Oh, my God.
$10 million to go find a Bigfoot.
Yeah.
They're offering $10 million. In fact, that Justin Smeha, the one I'm talking about that's going to be on Coast to Coast tonight.
He's part of that, huh?
He's part of it, yeah. Where they're tracking the Bigfoot. And whoever gets the best evidence or DNA evidence wins
Whatever it
$10
takes.
million
Wow.
bucks.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it ain't gonna happen.
Nobody's gonna win. Yeah.
Yeah, nobody's gonna win. So, all right, hey, Danny Valdrama sent me over the SoundCloud on the screams of the Bigfoot. So,
Okay,
all you
cool.
out there, this is something that happened to Ellen, Danny, and my buddy Robert Scott and myself. We were up at the location where we go all the time, put up cameras. This is where the window incident occurred. We went walking down, and the reason we went walking down, we couldn't drive in, is because what is that noise? Oh my God! I turned it on. Stupid. And
I think you're giving some preview while it's going, okay?
They have a haunted
It's
I'm
good at this
studio.
narration thing.
So anyway, so we
Haunted
were
studio.
walking. We walked in probably a good 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and all of a sudden we started hearing these screams. And luckily for me, I have an iPhone, and I had it's called an iRig microphone that attaches to an app that's part of my iPhone, and it's a digital recorder. And I was recording this, and we got it screaming at us. It was unfreaking believable.
He had the microphone.
How freaked out were you?
I was excited.
I mean, I
wasn't
realized
fa-
you wore a diaper
Yeah,
that time.
no,
You had to.
I was more excited than freaked out because there was the other 3 people with me. If it was by
You felt
myself,
safe.
yeah, I think I would have definitely dropped a load.
Okay.
I think I was the one that was scared the most because I can't run.
we would have left him in the
And I actually had a
Sacrificed him?
yeah.
I had a parabolic dish and headset on, and I heard it probably before anybody. And I heard I thought it was my stomach rumbling because I could feel it.
Yeah.
And after the second time, I'm like aiming at my stomach, and I'm like, wow, that is weird, you know. And I'm aiming at my stomach, and then Jeff, I see everybody react. Right? They're all like. Sorry, look. You know, I aim that parabolic mic where everybody's
and then I got my
looking,
mic and I'm shaking. I'm doing this. I'm going. You guys hear that? Okay, I'm gonna play it. Okay, I'm gonna play it, guys. Now, Robert Scott, who was with us, does not believe in Bigfoot at that moment in time. So he freaks out and he starts cussing. So.
Right, yeah.
I'm gonna try to mute it at that particular.
Just let it
We'll just
fly.
move the show to rated R.
Yeah.
Okay? Got that? Have you moved it?
Okay, here we go.
Just let it fly.
I mean,
Why not? Heck, it's the internet.
okay, so you said about 5 minutes, right?
In the 5 minutes is when you can start hearing it really good, and it's easy to
Okay,
go
here we
from
go.
the wind.
I moved it up a little bit. Here we go.
Fuck me.
Oh.
No,
That was
it's
me.
Robert. Oh, that was you, huh?
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna mute the mics. I'm turning up the volume, everybody. Listen really closely. If you have earphones, now's the time to put them on. It's getting louder though. Yeah. Okay, that was one right there. It's gonna get louder. It's gonna get louder. Something we're gonna play on our show tonight. We gotta record it. What the fuck? You fucking hear that shit? One more time. That's not a bear or a lion. That's a fucking. Is that cool or what? That happened to us, and I will never forget that day.
Me either.
That's, I mean, this sound recording does not give it any justice.
Not at all.
It sounded like King Kong as it's going through the forest. We felt the bass of the screams in our stomach.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got close to where it was hanging out.
Well, this is where we go all the time. This is where we go all the time.
Are you allowed to say where this is at? Or is it best to keep
It's
it?
by Sequoia National Park.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Sanger
This
country.
is Sanger country,
Yeah.
man. This is right there. This is where I'm going to
That's
take
pretty
you.
intense, isn't it?
This is where I'm going to take you. So
You guys got to go with us, man. We'll
Oh, well,
take
see,
you.
he's coming back in July or August, right?
Jeffrey, you coming back in July, August?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then you know what?
Cool.
We'll set it up then to get both of you guys going with us. Okay. But
This is the real deal.
this is.
I mean, you hear that. Explain that.
you can't. It's.
That's not a bear.
That's not a bear.
That's the only thing I could maybe potentially contribute to.
Or a
unless
lion.
it was man-made.
Or a lion.
Okay.
Oh, but we don't have lions.
Oh, that's right. We don't live in Africa.
That's right.
My
Right.
bad. Forgot
That's
about
right.
that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but have you ever heard a bear scream that many times?
No.
That didn't sound like a bear, though.
No way. And it was coming at us.
It was coming at us.
It starts off really faint, and there's probably like 10 screams on there. But
Yeah. I've seen
It's hard
Jeff's.
to do.
I've seen Jeff's wife get real upset, and she doesn't sound like that either. So
Okay. Art Bell wants the audio. So we'll get you the audio, mister. This here, guys, is the reason why we do what we do. We were not expecting anything like this to happen that day. No, we were going up there just to go up there. And this is just incredible. I will never forget that day. We have photographs with the game cameras that we'll send a couple of those with the Art Bell also, because those were done with game cameras, but those were done like in 2009. But that's just, I remember. I got goosebumps. Woo!
yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Sorry
All right.
about the goosebumps, guys.
Yeah, so,
but I
okay.
got
Well,
'em too.
Bigfoot is real. I don't care what anybody says. They're there. I have people with credibility tell me that they are real. I have never seen one. I am hoping that one of these days I will. I will probably, like I told Joshie, I will probably end up peeing in my pants when I do. I mean, there's no doubt about it. It's going to scare me. David Ragosa, the high school teacher, or now a principal, who has introduced me to this location, he has taken several people up there with them. I remember one guy in general that he said that he went in cahoots and purchased a bunch of game cameras, and one day they were up there and they separated. He went one way and this Bigfoot stood up right in front of him, and it
like 6 feet away
it
from
scared him so bad that he told David, "You keep the cameras, take me home, I am done.
And the guy was a cop.
I am done.
6'4", had his gun and everything.
and he says he's done.
I'm done."
That was it. He didn't
I'm
go
done.
camping or nothing.
Okay, help me out. Where does the lineage of Bigfoot come from? Is it more related to ape, the man to ape? What is it?
I don't know.
God,
Or is it its
I
whole
don't know. I don't know.
independent stream?
Dude, you know what? Until we find a body,
We don't know.
we don't know.
What's
Until
your
we
guess,
find,
Jeff?
I don't know. I don't know, because I've heard so many theories of what these creatures, or people that don't even think they're creatures, they're more human than creatures,
Right.
that can do.
That's what the tribe says.
They're more human.
A tribe of
Of,
people.
of ancient
they call
ones.
them.
So
What did the Native Americans believe it to be?
ask Alan.
It's
Mr. Allen.
it's ancient people.
Ancient people.
In fact, when they had the war, the tribe killed like 48 of them, something like that, and the Bigfoot killed the whole like village except for 2 people. But they finally, after they killed like 48 of the Bigfoot, of the ancient ones, they call them tribal people. They had the main Bigfoot came and sat down, and they smoked the peace pipe and agreed that you don't kill us, we won't kill you.
And kept their distance ever since.
Ever since.
Wow.
And don't track them. Don't and that's why they were telling me don't track them, because then you're inviting bad.
Okay, Keith, if you're listening, bud, I am sending you the link right now of the scream, so you can go ahead and put them on the artbell.com website for everybody to hear. This is incredible stuff, guys. All right. Well, okay, Bigfoot. I guess we've talked a lot about the Bigfoot.
Yeah, now. There's other things happening, like at Courtright
Oh, yeah.
and all around. Now, these guys, Okay, and it's like a good segue from Bigfoot to UFOs because they see Bigfoot and then they get abducted by UFOs.
What is the connection there? I
don't know.
No clue.
Yeah.
Don't even go there because I have no clue. But yes, people, when they see, as a matter of fact, at California and Academy Avenue, the two girls who saw the Bigfoot running were running away from a bright light on the other side of this large tree.
Yeah.
Now, what this bright light was, I don't know. Could have been a black helicopter maybe, but I think they would have remembered hearing the propellers and the loud noise. But they just said it was a very, very intense, bright white light, and the Bigfoot was running away from it. So go figure on that one.
I'm clueless. Who knows?
Okay. So, and the court right, we have a case that we worked on, and matter of fact, we're going to use this case as an episode on one of our episodes that we film on March the 2nd for Paranormal Central, for the talk show. But there was 3 campers. They were abducted by aliens, and in the same location as they were there, they found on the cliff right near their campsite, they found like a nest where something had killed a deer and placed it on the nest like for an offering for somebody. And it so happens that the nest was overlooking where the UFOs were hovering. So it's like, what? It's like, you have to step back and go, okay, now you've really taken
so
this
many
all.
things going on.
Yeah, there's so many going on.
angles at this,
Yeah, so, we don't know. We have no clue.
See, now we messed you up for a whole month.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be like driving to work going, oh, man,
my job already makes me lose hair and causes me to lose more hair. Thank you, Jeff.
Do we have any sightings at that shaver? Because I'm going camping in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, there was just this last deer season.
Yes.
These 2 guys were deer hunting, and they saw the Bigfoot, and then they started shooting at it, and it climbed up in a tree. And they kept shooting at it, and it went around the back of the tree, like so that they couldn't shoot at it. So they're trying to get around the tree, and then it jumped from one tree to the other tree, and it kept doing that until it got away from them.
And then where I work at AT&T, my buddy Mark, his wife works at the Clovis Unified School District. The bus, she runs the bus.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay, the school buses, and there was a bus driver deer hunting, and he was by himself, and he was in a camper. And at about 12:30, he said the camper started shaking, and literally it was coming off the wheels, right? Yeah. Well, he gets up thinking it's an earthquake. He goes to the window, pulls open the curtain, and he sees this Bigfoot. What he now knows is a Bigfoot running away, taking large strides. He said he took about 3 strides, and it was gone. But the thing was shaking the camper because Bigfoots are meat eaters during that time, because the deer hunters are out. It's because when the deers are here, that's what they're also hunting the deer, and it was ticked off at that particular person because it was probably in its spot, scoping out the deer, and he was upset because he was in his territory, and he was telling him by shaking the camper to get out of here. And he came back and he told everybody at the Clovis School District. And I was trying to get a hold of him, and after, I guess maybe somebody told him, you know what, you better shut up, because it is, by talking about this, it could mess you up and where you work, and he didn't come, and he didn't want to talk to me. But
that happens so many times.
It's like, and everybody was talking about it in the Clovis bus yard. It's like, so people like that are witnessing this all the time, and the reason why we're finding out about it is because our name is out there. We have the 24-hour hotline that's out there. That's been out there for 5 years. People are calling us with all this info. People think we're making this stuff up. No, it's because we have a network now. We are networking.
Now, how many calls a week do you say you average now for whatever the activity is?
It's mostly UFO activity.
Sure.
I get a couple calls a week. Most of them now are either text on my 24-hour hotline or they're Facebooking me. If people really want to see what's going on out there, be a Facebook friend and go and friend me, because people will post, Jeff, we just saw this light southeast of Sanger or Reedley or Orange Cove. It's incredible. It's incredible. You know, I got, let's just say, law enforcement calling me at 2:00 in the morning because these patrol officers now have me on speed dial on their cell phones, and that's way cool.
You know what's cool?
Way cool.
Just only like a couple of months ago, Thanksgiving time, my nephew took some pictures of these red orbs that were over the airport, that went over the airport, and from a different angle, somebody took some pictures closer and sent them to Jeff from the 24-hour hotline, and we had two different angles. I'm getting goosebumps from
the
that.
same thing.
Of the same thing.
Of the same thing.
Yeah.
That's a network.
And it's going over the airport.
Yeah, going over the airport.
Going over the airport.
Why?
And then one of them
I don't know.
and then one of them said they saw a helicopter, a black helicopter, flying around them.
Right, yeah.
Over the airport. Like
flying around the orange
orbs. At the international airport.
Crazy.
Okay? So it's like, okay.
And that's only like Thanksgiving.
It's a couple days. So, all right. That's what's going on here in Fresno. You know what? It's probably happening
everywhere,
all over the world. But the reason why we are constantly getting reports is because people now have a place to turn to. You know, this is probably happening, in Southern California and in Northern California. It doesn't matter. It's happening all over the world. But people here, what's awesome is that, somebody on Facebook that I'm not a friend will post something that they just saw on their Facebook wall, and all of a sudden they said, "Oh my God, you got to send that to Jeff Gonzalez. You got to friend him right now."
Yeah, and it'll be like from Montana or someplace.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's very cool. So, all right. Wow. Okay.
We got to see what time it is.
It's 40. We got 45. Right. We got 45 minutes. Right.
Just about.
Okay. All right. I have, I wrote down some things that I wanted to talk about. Yesterday, something happened here in Fresno that, a lot of people really don't think much of it, but there's things that are going on around you, and if you're not aware of what you're looking at, it's going to go right over you. And what I mean by that is weird-looking cars, weird-looking trucks, weird-looking planes that land at your airport that doesn't make any sense. For example, yesterday, I worked Saturday. I was driving along the airport going to my place of employment, which is at Dakota and Peach Avenue. And I drive by the location where the UPS airplanes are always parked, and the FedEx planes, the North Airport. And there was this large white plane parked there. And I drove by and I went, huh? And I made a U-turn, and I drove around, and I came up to where the gate of the where the entrance is with the FedEx, and I pulled in there, and I took a couple of photographs with my cell phone, and I noticed it was like a 727 or 737, and it was completely white. There was no markings that I can see, and when I mean markings, I mean no paint job, no numbers, no letters, nothing. So I put it on my Facebook wall. Because whenever something unusual comes into the airport, that's where it's parked. Whether it's a vice president's plane, whether it's the president's backup plane, whether it's a cargo plane with the president's vehicles in it on a standby when they're in the Bay Area or Southern California, Fresno is a location where they have the standby planes parked in case there's an emergency. But what's kind of funny and weird is that when the president is not in the area at all in California,
or the vice president,
we will see their airplanes parked in Fresno.
Interesting.
Okay, and they're just kicking it there. Now, I've caught them there parked many of times. I've taken photographs. I have proof. I posted it on Facebook, and it's like, okay, what is? And I'm not saying that the president or the vice president is here, but it could be very well part of their, Department of Defense, whoever.
Entourage,
entourage is here for a reason, but why Fresno? And, Ellen and I have been witnessing weird things going on in Fresno, like just weird vehicles, weird airplanes. And yesterday, the whole white vehicle white airplane seemed very weird for me. For all those people who want to see this photograph, it is now on the artbell.com page if you want to take a look at it. And I am going to post it right now on our side, so you can take a look at what I'm talking about. And you're probably going to go, big deal. It's a plane. Okay. Well, you're right. It is a big deal. It's just a plane. But I have never seen an unmarked plane. I've seen unmarked cars. I've seen unmarked, vans. But I've never seen an unmarked plane.
Especially one of this size.
And one of this size parked at the airport. And the reason why I took interest to it.
I mean, we've even seen Janet airplanes right there.
Now, we'll get into that. As a matter of fact, thank you, because I'm going to write that down. And somebody mentioned something to me yesterday, which is awesome. Okay, but let's talk about this white plane. Now, I posted on Facebook. I went to work during my tour of work. A Facebook friend by the name of Michael Gibson, I guess, didn't believe me. So he went out there on his own, and he was taking a look at the plane, driving around, and he went on the opposite side. And I'm going to take this picture here, and I'm going to show you this picture here. And he happened to have found 5 letters, and I'm showing you the picture right now of the right side of the plane.
Zoom in on that, so we can see it really good on here.
Okay.
For all you guys out in radio land, he's going to zoom in, and we can take a really good look at it.
Okay. There is 5 letters, and I didn't catch that because that was on the opposite side, and I took photographs and I didn't see anything because of the glare of the white plane. Now, he took it upon himself to figure out that, wait a minute, there are letters on that plane, and he typed it into the internet, he Googled it, and it comes out that it's a private it's a private airplane out of Hong Kong, China. And I'm going, whoa, stop the press here. Hong Kong, China airplane in Fresno, California. You have to understand that we do get that right away. We thought, okay, tourists, Yosemite, Sierras. But as far as they go is the Bay Area. They dump them off there onto tour buses, and they bring them this way. Okay, they never bring airplanes to this location that are from China. All right, now, you guys, for those who have been following me, know what I think is underground in Fresno and north of Fresno. I'm going to give you an example. Everybody knows that Fresno is high in the Hmong population. Okay. A lot of people also know that General Vang Pao was here in Fresno, and he's been here for a while until he passed away. My friend at work said, Jeff, you need to call my buddy. And I said, why? And this guy's Hmong. And I go, why? He goes, well, he used to be a bodyguard for General Vang Pao. And I said, oh, yeah. And he goes, yeah. And he goes, you know what you've been telling me about underground in North Fresno? He goes, he actually went there. I'm like, what? So I called him, and we talked on the phone. And he says that him and Vang Pao and some other security detail went underground to a facility north of Fresno, and he said that there's way more than we think is going on here in Fresno. Like I don't know, CIA operatives, something going on, and now it's starting to make sense. We've been telling everybody there is something very weird going on here, and definitely in the conspiracy side, Fresno. I don't even know where to begin. Underground facilities, underground. I don't know. They're just so.
Are you still on?
Why? Don't tell me we're off. Are you kidding me?
I have a feeling that the video's down.
Are you kidding me? Right when remember we said if we were gonna talk about the white plane, this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me get out of here. Hold on.
You're down?
I don't know.
Just only the video.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Let me see. No. Well, I don't know. I'm a control bar. No, it still say perfect streaming on my part through live stream.
Okay.
So you lost it there.
Yep.
So Cheryl in the other room, are we still on? Just curious. Oh, what? Because we can't. Can you see chat?
Yeah, chat's on.
Okay.
No, the whole thing right here just bumped right off.
Bumped right off? That's weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the airplane really quick again here.
Danny says everything's working.
Okay, all right. So what I'm trying to say, guys, is that there's something really major going on here in Fresno, and I'm going to wait till Joshua Mitchell. Joshua had to leave the studio here. I think he probably had to go to pee a break or something. But he brought something up to me when he walked in about. Well, I'm going to let him talk about it. There he comes. He's going to go get gummy bears. And bathroom. But that's funny.
That's what happens when there's no commercial break.
Yeah, it's a long 2 hours whenever you drink coffee and water.
Like a little kid, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It's like the first place I go after
now,
the show's like heading in there.
You mentioned, we were talking about something before we started the program about what I think is going on here. And you brought something up that I found really interesting because it totally goes with what my theory is about. And you said, Jeff, and everybody knows, okay, I'm going to introduce Joshua Mitchell again. He is the mayor of Sanger, California. What's the population in Sanger?
25,000 are annex, 100,000 are sphere of influence.
Okay.
Your sphere of influence? How does that work? Like the school district?
Sanger Unified, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pretty close to it, yeah.
So you told me, go, Jeff, what you're trying to do is awesome to Sanger. Sanger's been a small community, but I think it's time to open it up a little bit, bring in some businesses, bring in big stores, bring in hotels. I mean, I think that's awesome. I think, we need to do that. But you told me that, you go, Jeff, why is the Valley having so much of a problem bringing in interest? And you said that right off the bat, and I'm going, oh my God. I go, I thought, we talked about that for some reason they're trying to keep Fresno small.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. No, in fact, there is an assembly bill and a Senate bill that actually prevent any city within the state of California from growing beyond what the state deems it appropriate to do so. That's a new law.
New law for Fresno?
And anywhere in California.
Anywhere in California.
Which includes Sanger. We are actually, there's a vote that takes place on the COG level, which is a regional board that I sit on, and it's agreed upon how big a city can grow in the next 10 to 15 years or to 25 years.
Okay. And what are they telling you? How much can you grow? Or are they willing to let you grow?
Well, we're such a small city. Any percentage, that we'd be able, logistically be able to grow to isn't much at all. Right. Maybe to the 180, for example.
Okay.
Fresno is the one that's running into a bigger problem with that, and Fresno County as well, and an incorporation of cities. So if Millerton wants to grow bigger, that's a big, big battle they're going to have to go through. Huge. Bigger than ever before.
So
like no North Fresno, right? North Fresno as far as it goes, right?
Well,
now,
that's
pretty much.
That's what they would like to see, yeah.
Why? Why are they preventing? Donald.
We talked and Fresno to grow together.
I always thought that Sanger and Fresno would eventually connect.
I did
That's
too.
what I always thought because I live in the Sanger School District. My kids go to Sanger School District.
Yes.
Right. So I always thought that one of these days that they would somehow connect in the middle. Not even close.
You're asking me why? I don't know, so take it from here.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that. Why are they preventing Fresno to grow any much larger than it is? And now let's talk about preventing. Now, for example, Donald Trump, 2 years ago, I think it was, wanted to come in and southwest of Fresno wanted to put in a multi-million-dollar golf course and one of his awesome hotels. And they, boom, shut him down. They were giving him so much of a hassle that he finally said, you know what, Fresno,
you're fired.
You're fired. Yeah, exactly. And he says, I'm out of here. I mean, I want to come in. I want to do you guys a favor. I want to put something inside Fresno that would, pique interest. Once you put a hotel and a golf, course, you can build around that. And for some reason, they were giving him a hassle. So that got shut down. Anytime anybody wants to come in and make something in Fresno or somebody builds something, it doesn't last. They're out of here. They're
look
gone.
how long it took them to do the stadium, the now Chick Chansey, the Grizzlies thing. Look how long it took them, and then look what happened to Granite Park.
Yeah.
With Cabo Wabo.
Well, you know
they
what?
did the same thing to that guy, man. They ran him out on
So
a
why is
rail.
Fresno forced to be small, Jeff?
Well, you know what?
Help me out.
Okay.
I always wondered that.
Okay.
What's your theory? What's the
my theory? Okay, well let's add to the reason why. Well, not the reason. More roadblocks. All right. As you know, water is the main thing going on right now in the Fresno Valley. They are trying to cut water to all the farmers, and they're not allowing them to water their crop, and therefore their crops are dying, and the farmers are going out of business. Now that has been going on for the past 4 years, and the reason why they're saying this is because of the stupid little, I don't know what they call fish that they're up in the hills. They're saying that
guppy.
The smelt.
The smelt. Thank you very much. The smelt.
Looks like a guppy to me.
And they're not allowing the Fresno to put in large ponds to hold the water because of the smelt, and they're getting a lot of feedback. As a matter of fact, Sean Hannity actually came down and made a big old deal, to help the farmers, but it's not getting anywhere. They want to keep this area to a minimum, and I think because of what I have been coming across and what Alan has been coming across is that there is something much more deeper going on here in Fresno than anybody understands.
And deeper, he means underground.
And I'm talking conspiracy, military.
Give it to us.
We know there are underground facilities here in Fresno, underneath the airport.
We can see some at Dakota and Peach, right?
Well, now check this out. As of
Really? The bunkers, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those have been there ever since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, they're there.
Right.
Yeah,
now,
We know they go underground.
You know where else?
What?
When I was a kid, my dad worked in the sheriff department, and I would hang out in the basement of the actual sheriff.
You did call it.
Didn't I? Take the plane picture off. I did take the plane picture off. Okay, maybe that's why. God, this is crazy, guys. I tell you. All right, hold on.
Yeah, we have these guys that follow us for a long time now, and they notice these things even before we do. Like, hey, don't leave that on too long. They'll cut you off. You'll see it in the little chat thing.
Okay, we're back on live stream, guys. All right, now.
There we go. But we never left Dark Matter Radio Network.
No, that one's still going, and
Right.
that's why.
And we want everybody to know that you're still hearing us live.
Keith,
out there.
and Keith out at theartbell.com. You need to come up with this scam so we can get off a live stream and go straight to you guys. All right, I'm telling you right now.
Have him do a
Put him on the
server
record right
video.
now.
Okay, Keith, you got to get us. Well, we will drop live stream in a heartbeat if we can just go ahead and just video straight to you, and then that way you can bet us on the website. That's what we want to do. So make it happen.
Yeah.
All right.
He's probably smart enough to do it.
I'm
The
tired
guy's
of this
great.
live stream dropping.
He said, all right. He said, okay.
Okay, make it happen, buddy. Because we were
he's the
done with
man.
live stream. We get our computer system here. We are allowed. It actually records it on hard drive, the show, so we could already put it on our archive page, Keith, without going through live stream. So if that's what you're worried about, don't worry about that. Just get us embedded on your. We'll talk about it later. We can get a software, a program, and we'll just okay. So
Jeff is
we
red.
have
He
like
is
20
frustrated.
minutes.
I am ticked. I'm done with this. All right.
We got 25 minutes. We need to move on to what we were talking about.
All right, now.
And get cut off again.
Yeah, hurry up and get us cut off, okay?
Okay, now this is what I'm going at, is that they were expanding the runways at the airport, but they were removing millions of tons of, there's such a word, millions of tons of dirt from the airport, and they were offloading them all over Fresno.
Yeah.
Now,
Don't usually when you're building up a runway, don't you build up the runway?
So
with
saying
dirt?
you need dirt, right?
Yeah.
okay, now Alan happened to have known a couple of people who were in the construction site on the spot taking the dirt out. And he told Ellen that when they arrived in the morning to pick up the dirt, there would be mounds and mounds of dirt, and they were telling themselves, where did this dirt come from?
Because they would run all day and get rid of all the dirt. And then in the morning when they showed up, it would be a mountain of dirt.
And they're
for
going,
them to
where
haul
is
out.
And they said, you don't need to know. Just get the dirt. You're paid to get this dirt
Yeah.
and take it to where we tell
You
you
got
to
a
dump
really
it.
good contract.
Now,
Don't blow it.
Yeah. So if you go down Clovis Avenue and Tulare, right? There's
Yes.
Tulare. There's where supposedly the new River Park 2 is supposed to be placed right in there.
Correct.
If you look on the north and south side, there are tons of dirt. It came from the airport. Now, if you go to other locations like at Blackstone and Belmont, Belmont and Fowler Avenue, there's an empty field out there.
Yes.
They were taking dirt and dumping them over there. And they were doing that all over Fresno. They were taking all this dirt out of Fresno. Now, about 5 years ago, when I came in contact with an old friend of ours called Anthony Sanchez, I had met him over the phone, and we were talking about what I think was going on at the airport. And he decided to do some investigation, and he went into the military 144th Fighter Wing website, and he found a page where it said 5 levels underneath the airport. And he showed, I remember he sent me a link, and I saw it, and I went, holy mackerel, how did you find this? Well, the following day it was gone. I was like, damn it, and we didn't save it. I was going, son of a gun. But I saw it with my own eyes. It was a paper illustrating to everybody that there was 5 stories underneath the airport. And I'm all, well, what the hell is that there for? Now, I have had, again, working at AT&T, there are people who used to do other things prior to coming to work at AT&T. One was an electrician. Well, he was hired by as a contractor to go underground to do some electrical work. But as you're done with it, you have to sign a waiver that you cannot talk about it, or your confidentiality. It's just supposedly that he actually told a friend of his, and his friend told me. I called him, and he was pissed. He says, "Who told you that?" No, I can't talk about this. And he hung up the phone. And I'm like, yes. So, it's like, people. Yes. Yes. So people, they know what I do, and whenever they hear a little bit of information that could lead to something bigger, they'll come and tell me. For example, I was listening to KMJ, Chris Daniel. He had the main guy of the airport on, and they were talking, the manager, who's the big guy, and Daniels goes, so you guys are like the number one or the only airport in the United States of America to have a large array of solar panels. Did you know that?
I did not.
Did you know where they're at?
I don't.
They're camouflaged, and right there, if you go down Clovis Avenue, as soon as you hit
like
the railroad track at McKinley, look off to the right. There is, I don't want to say oleanders, but is it oleanders?
Yeah.
Okay, there's oleanders around those. There's about 5 acre in back of that full of solar panels.
You can look at it on Google Maps.
They supply power to the airport. Now, and Daniel goes, that's amazing. How did you guys, were able to pull that off? And then he goes, so you guys are like the only one. And then the director of the airport goes, well, we used to be. And Daniels goes, well, who's number one now? The Denver airport.
That's the other airport with a big giant base.
And for all those who know what the Denver airport is all about, okay, so now see, all this is coming into play. Underground facility at the Denver airport, underground facility at the Fresno airport. They have backup solar panels. There's something major going on here.
What do you think it is, Jeff?
I think.
Give us your best shot.
We have so much.
Are we still on video? No.
we have so much paranormal activity here in Fresno, and I'm talking UFOs, Bigfoot, Mothman, ghosts, little creatures running around Fresno. You see this thing back here, Josh? Okay, that statue. All right. There are creatures like that running around Fresno. Matter of fact, a person got it on video, and it's on YouTube, and we'll show that one of these days. Well, actually, just go to Nightcrawler. We talked about that many times. Nightcrawlers of Fresno. There are, it's like there's everywhere you go, something paranormal is happening here in Fresno. Now, the research that I've been doing, that wherever there is a location like this, wherever in the United States where there's so much paranormal activity, there also happens to be a military base there. All right? Now, why was the 144th placed in Fresno? Well, obviously, back in the days, we had the internment camps of the Japanese here back in the days. So that could very well play a big part. But north of Fresno, where we took chasing UFOs, we think there's something much more happening out there. There's so much personnel, military personnel, retired NASA personnel, retired physicists that are moving to Northern California. Northern Fresno, and they're setting up shop here. There's something major militarily happening here in Fresno, and I don't know what it is, but you can see all the evidence all around you, but you have to keep your eyes open. Like, for example, this white plane. Everybody going, big deal, it's a white plane. Well, first stop and think about it. It's from China, Hong Kong. What would a China-Hong Kong airplane be doing in Fresno?
Well, at first, if Google a white plane, and you're going to come up with like I did it, I'm like, big deal. Maybe it's going to the paint shop, right? That's because we have that here. But only then when you Google it, then you find out Atlanta airport, they see 747s, white ones going in and out in the night and all kinds of stuff. Only like selected airports, like maybe 3 in the whole United States, sees these unmarked white airplanes.
Now, this is something really cool.
And nobody knows what they are. There is not one thing telling you what that white airplane is.
Yes.
None.
Yes, it has the 3 or the 5 letters that tell us it's from Hong Kong. Okay. So, do you believe everything you read on the internet? Well, no. It could very well be a real airplane from Hong Kong. Yes, and that's what I'm thinking it is, an airplane from China, Hong Kong. But then again, we have a big tourist attraction here in the valley, and that's Yosemite and the Sierras. We have
3 national parks.
3. We have Yosemite,
Sequoia
and Kings Canyon. There you go. Every day you see tour buses with Asian people on it, and they are driving up there. We're literally, bus after bus after bus. Where are they coming from? They're not coming from Fresno Airport. No, they're coming from the Bay Area. That's as far as the airplanes are going to take them. And from there, they jump on a bus and they go up to Yosemite. All right.
And they would go by my casino. So I would pay $400 a bus, and the driver would drive them by my casino.
Now, check this out. I found this out yesterday just by luck. If you go to my Facebook page, it's still documented on there. As we were talking about this airplane, my buddy Matt Riley from AT&T goes, Jeff, he goes, hey, I don't think I've ever told you this, and it's on there still. He goes, my buddy who used to work at the Fresno airport as a mechanic, he says they are contracted to repair the tires or to replace tires on the Janet airplanes from Area 51 in the Fresno airport. And I went, what?
So that's why we're seeing them.
Well, okay, let's think about that now. I've seen 2 Janet airplanes parked exactly where the UPS, where this white plane was parked. I've seen 2 Janet airplanes parked there about 4 or 5 years ago on my way to work. I just happened to glance over and I said, holy smokes, I know what those 2 airplanes are. And I wrote down the numbers on them and I pulled them up on the internet, and sure as hell, they're Area 51. And I go, okay, another piece of the puzzle that I can add to what I'm trying to figure out. Underground facility, people coming in. I've had people call me and tell me, Jeff, there's a UFO on a flatbed truck on 180 with black vehicles on both sides with Humvees, armed guards, and there's this, what they see is like half of a UFO on top. And you got vans with 50 antennas on top, with the Humvee with a guy on the freaking top of it with the machine gun, and on the front it's the same thing, and they're going down the 180 going towards Kerman, okay, from this area. All right, I've gotten 2 reports of that, and this is happening like at 10 o'clock at night when when there's not that much activity on the freeways, but thank God,
probably one of the unmanned things
could be one of the, but it's like it's you know, that's the type of activity that's going on here in Fresno.
Yeah.
You know,
Crazy.
it's awesome. I mean, I hope that this tonight's not my last night here on Earth, because I've just and Joshua, nice knowing you.
Pleasure, yeah. Come to my funeral, come to yours, okay?
So, but
That's
see,
funny.
this is the stuff. This is the stuff that we're coming across. You know, I had a law enforcement officer at the River Park, North Fresno, one night about 7:30 when I was watching 2.5 Men with my wife. Call me on the 24-hour hotline. He goes, Jeff, this is so-and-so with, and I'm not going to say, it's Fresno PD, and a sergeant, and he goes, I'm looking up in the sky right now. I'm in the parking lot, and there's something hovering over River Park. I just wanted to let you know. He hung up the phone. I told Cheryl. Then 2 more calls came in from workers in that area who had my number on speed dial, who called me. And then, all of a sudden, jets started taking off out of the airport. And we heard them. We were going, I'm looking at my wife. I'm going, no freaking way. So I run up the stairs to the second story of my house. I'm looking out the window facing that way. And then more calls started coming in. And says, Jeff, these jets are chasing these UFOs over Fresno right now. I'm like, what? And I had like 6 calls. And they all were telling me exactly the same thing. And matter of fact, the following Sunday, I had them all on my show. I had every single one of them call and tell exactly what they witnessed. And it's like, okay, if it was a drill, if it was a military drill, I've talked to military personnel, and they said never in a million years would they jeopardize doing a military drill over a populated city as Fresno. Because if a jet happens to crash and wipe out a neighborhood,
It's a lawsuit.
oh, it would never happen. So when they do drills, they'll do it over the mountains, over the ocean, not over a populated city. So I'm going, then those objects were not ours.
Yeah, you know, like a couple of years ago, maybe not even that, we had it down that you could go out and look between these hours and these hours on these days.
Yep.
And be pretty much going to see something.
Sundays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
Yeah. And it was like starting
Fine.
about 7 o'clock till 11 o'clock.
All the reports that I were getting, I would document. And then it just so happens that all of them are happening on Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I was thinking, I'm going, why are they happening on these days? And I'm going, well, those days are the days where, for example, let's start off with Sunday. Sunday is the last day of the weekend. At nighttime, you want to be inside. You're getting the kids ready for school tomorrow, getting them into bed. You're tired. You want to go to sleep early. You're not outside. So there's not that much traffic. Nobody's partying outside. Everybody's indoors. It's Sunday. UFO reports like crazy. A lot of triangles were hovering over Fresno right around that time. I get call after call after call. Same thing with Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays, hump days. Everybody's middle of the week. They're inside. They're not out partying. Same goes for Thursday. Then I put 2 and 2 together. Well, I'm going, well, you know, what happened?
Oh, I was just reading the chat.
Okay. Then I found out, well, then maybe those crafts that everybody is witnessing, they're ours. And I'm pretty sure those were ours because
No jets take off.
no jets would take off after them. Okay? And they were hovering over houses, doing maneuvers. I would get calls. So basically, it was our people testing these top secret, what I think they are, TR-3Bs over a populated city as Fresno, because the Fresno people are, they're not awake. They're not, observing.
You know, Jeff, something else to think about is that if you were to try to do it out of a place like San Francisco Airport, those airports are way too busy.
No. Yeah.
For the amount of air traffic we have, we're actually very, very small.
Especially for being an international airport.
Yeah, you want it to be free.
Mm-hmm.
And not have
FYI, it's an international. No.
yeah, you don't want to have to fight.
Well, but these crafts that people were witnessing at that time were not coming out of Fresno. You have to understand, we have Area 51, which is 200, 300 miles that way.
Okay.
It's a hop, skip, and a jump for a top secret jet. To take them 2 seconds from here to there to get. We have China Lake Naval Air Base, which is right over there. We have Lemoore.
Vandenberg.
And then we have Vandenberg, and we have Lemoore. We're right in the middle
of
all these. So yeah, definitely they're coming out and they're flying over Fresno because people, when you see a light, you assume it's a plane or a helicopter. And I've been telling people for years, If you see something in the sky, stop and observe it. Go on Google and look up the light configurations of an airplane, of a small airplane, of a helicopter. They're supposed to have certain color lights, blinking lights, strobes, white lights. So when you see a light and you're driving down the freeway and you see a light just sitting there, don't think it's an airplane or a helicopter, man, because it could very well be one of our top secret airplanes just kicking it, just hovering
and
there.
Usually they're like treetop level.
Yep.
That way you only get like a glimpse of it, because if it moves on just only like a half a block, you can't see it no more.
Yeah, so if you're in your...
If it was higher up, you'd see it for miles.
So if
right?
you're in your backyard, in your front yard, and you're having a smoke, that's when most of our calls come in, is when people are out taking the trash, walking the dog, or having a smoke break. They're outside, and all of a sudden they look up, perfect timing, they see this thing just fly right over them. And then they look, and it's gone. Why is it gone? Because this thing is flying right over the rooftops and the trees. So as it's going right over you, and it's really low, you're not going to see it anymore, because you have the next house or the next tree that's blocking your view from them. That's why they fly them so low over the rooftops. Because if you're lucky and you look up, you're going to see it. But if not, they could be just cruising right over the treetops, and you'll never see it unless you look up at the perfect time.
And there's totally quiet, so you could be like looking down in your garbage can, it'll fly over and you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
And they're so quiet.
So quiet. They make absolutely no noise. I mean, I was out taking the trash out one day 5 years ago, and I just threw the trash in the cul-de-sac. I looked around, and I'm looking toward the mountains, and we had there's always cloud cover over those mountains, right?
Sure.
I saw this large triangle object come out of the clouds, and then it stopped. Like it said, "Oh crap!" And then it did this, like this, right where it was at, and went right back in the clouds. And I was just like this, with my eyes open. And then my wife came out. I think it was at the door, and she goes, "Jeff, what's wrong?" And I just saw something awesome just come out of those clouds, do a 360 right where it was at, and go right back in the clouds. I'm going, whoa. That and it was the size of and I was that far. It was like this, so it must have been the size of an aircraft carrier. Easy.
Interesting.
Easy. I've had so many people call me on the west side that we've had crafts just cruising over the grape fields, size of an aircraft carrier, just like that.
Since we got known, or like we're getting like known, the guy at the grocery store, the clerk, he stops me and he's like, come here, and he takes me like around the canned food, aisle, and we go back in there, and he's like, man, he goes, I got to tell you, me and my wife were walking at Kastner Elementary or something like that, walking the track, and his wife says, hey, look at that ship. And he looked up and seen this light. He goes, you mean that light? She goes, no, the ship. And then he's looking, and then he realized that whatever was over him, if he spread his hands out as wide as he could, it was wider than that.
Incredible.
And it was just right above the lights of the thing, just hovering over him, barely moving. He couldn't hear a thing. And he said it was huge, bigger than like 2 football fields.
That's how big these things are.
That's incredible.
It's awesome. I mean, and I'm gonna say they're ours. I'm gonna probably say 98% are those aircraft are ours.
That's how far our technology is.
Yeah,
ahead.
exactly. That I mean, we have stuff right now. I mean, my theory is we stopped the space shuttle because we're already going to the moon. We already have aircraft that are already flying to the moon. That's why we don't have the space. I personally think the space shuttle was just a front. I really think that in my heart. And unfortunately, we had people die in space shuttle accidents. But I believe it was all just a front. I believe there are things going on the moon that that'll freak everybody out if they found out the truth.
When was the last time they gave us any technology, like jet technology? It was like 1991.
Yeah, isn't it funny how our space program hasn't really advanced at all, so to speak, in the last 40, 50 years?
It just completely stopped because we already have that technology and we're already using it. And the government of the United States is keeping it hush-hush because it's every government wants to have the best toys. and they don't want to let it out. I mean, I believe we're probably even using some of this in the Iraq War already, because some of the military personnel. I've actually had a girl from Afghanistan text me, said, Jeff, I saw this huge aircraft fly over where we were stationed at. I'm going, that wasn't ours, but it probably was.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, we're probably using this stuff. I mean, the drones that we have right now are just fronts, because we have stuff that
technology is so much.
Oh
greater.
my God! I mean, drones with propellers on them. Come on, give me a freaking break.
Well, get ready, because that's going to be the next thing policing us.
I mean, how long ago did we have the
Drones.
stealth technology, the stealth bomber, right?
Yeah, it was a while ago, and then they
40s?
1991.
No. I mean, but that's when it was. But it was admitted that they had the technology since the 40s or 50s.
Right, yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. I believe it.
Okay.
But
so
I mean,
one of us needs to become president. Jeff, I'm going to put on you so you can
hell
start
no.
releasing all
I'm
the
done
secrets.
already. I'm done already with this show.
But Alan's hair is way too long. So he can't do it. It's going to be you, Jeff.
No, I'm done.
I mean,
No.
the way you part your hair, it's presidential, man.
If I had the themes, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you'll do it.
See, I won't even wear a tie, so that
Jeffrey,
counts
you want
me
to do
out.
Jeffrey Mitchell for
Well,
president?
you know what? The guy who's dressed right now for the occasion is the guy in the suit. So
It's
you know
true.
what?
I'm not going to lie. I am.
So what's in it? I mean, so are you running for re-election next year?
Yeah, most likely we'll do one more term.
Okay.
2014 to 2016.
Okay.
And I'll be done. And then I'll
So what
step.
are you gonna do?
I have 6 kids, Jeff.
Jesus.
Dang, I have 6 kids.
Yeah,
Now-
but
you
you're
know what?
twice
Now
my
I
age.
have,
So-
now I
so-
have
so-
26 grandkids.
That's a lot.
So you're not running for Congress or anything?
No.
He doesn't even know what he's up for. Christmas is going to kill him.
Yeah, you're right. Jeff, all cards are on the table, so to speak. But I'll tell you what, I'm doing a good job as a mayor, and probably just keep doing that.
Okay. So what's going on what are you trying to do now for Sanger? Because you've been doing a lot, dude. That's
Concrete
awesome.
in what we've done in, and then we're going to pass our bond to redo our downtown. 2014, our bond will pass early winter, midwinter rather said, and then it will change our downtown forever.
Yay.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
And then I'll
you're doing a
visit.
good job.
Thank you.
You know what? There are people who hate you because you're doing a good job. You know that, right?
Yes.
And they despise you, dude.
They're all, yeah. I bet they're a very small group, and they mean nothing.
That's what I want to hear. So,
Yeah.
all right, you guys, we got 1 minute to go. We're gonna call it a night. It was awesome. I appreciate
Awesome.
Joshua coming tonight and
I
sitting
loved
in.
it, guys. Thank you for letting
So
me come in.
not a problem, dude. The next time you see a UFO, you know who you're gonna call, right?
Let's get a Singer Paranormal in 3. 1, 2, 3. Singer Paranormal.
Yeah.
Singer Paranormal.
So, all right, that's it for us. We are calling it a night. I appreciate everybody sticking around. And you guys know who to call. Boy, that music's awfully loud. Bring it down a little bit.
Go
We'll
to
be back
Singer
next Sunday.
Paranormal.
And guess what? We're in 2014.
ParanormalCentral.net.
We are in 2014 in about 3 days, guys. 2014 in the new year. Is this the year that disclosure? Is this the year that Bigfoot's going to come knocking on my door and telling me, all right, I'm yours, take me in?
Or the government
To
going
the
to come
government,
take you
me
away.
away. So who knows? All right, you guys. For Jeffrey Gonzalez, Alan Thomas, and our guest Joshua Mitchell,
Good night,
mayor
you
of
guys.
Sanger. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Good night.